Hi everybody, how's it going today? I want to do a quick update on Stellar because it is one of the coins that I will most likely be trading on Binance. I don't really trade on Binance yet, but I did transfer some funds there, and this coin's caught my attention, and I've been doing tea on it for a few days now. So I want to wrap up really quickly what we've been talking about. If you guys enjoy these videos, I'd really appreciate an upvote on steemit, and make sure you guys also like and subscribe to this stuff on YouTube and on Twitter. So a few days ago, we were talking about a possible target right around 57, 5800 region, right? And then a possible retracement to 48 to the 5100 range before we break out to around 62 to get a double top. And we're actually on pace to do something like that right now. Now let me give you guys my thoughts on this, okay? I'm going to show you guys a coin first of all called ICX, Icon. It's a coin that I'm tracking quite a bit right now. There's a lot of potential for this coin. This is probably going to be a coin that I'll be trading on bitfinex, well, not bitfinex, on Binance as well. So if you guys notice, for example, right, we imagine for a second that we are on subwave 1, okay? All of subwave 1, which forms an ascending triangle like this, right? And then 2 corrects to somewhere in this triangle right here, ascending triangle, and then 3 breaks out, and then 4 comes down here, and then 5 goes up like that. So just to keep that in mind, if we actually look at XLM as well on Binance, it looks like kind of the same thing that's going to happen. First of all, I want to make note of this wedge that has formed. Every time we break out of a resistance, the resistance now becomes a support. And every time you break a support, it now becomes a resistance. So what we notice beautifully is that it breaks out of here and it conforms to this previous resistance that now acts as a support. And the way I'm seeing this right now is like this. The way I'm seeing it based on Elliott wave is that this is a beautiful wave count actually. I'm looking for a retracement right around this line, and I'm hoping for a target right up there. And all of this right here actually makes my subwave 1. So if I take Fibonacci extension like this, I'm going to target wave 3 is often the longest and never the shortest, right? So it's very safe to assume that wave 1 could possibly do something like that, right? Who knows? And it could possibly even correct to somewhere in here like that. And then maybe 3 will go up like that, 4, and then 5 will, and could very likely target around the 12,000 Satoshi level. Now this seems a little extreme the way I'm drawing it right now, right? But it might make sense, guys. It might very well make sense. So this trend line that I'm drawing in here right now, it's just connecting this point right here. This is what we would consider it as just a wick poking through in a different time frame, connecting this point as well. Look on the daily chart. Look at those green candles. Oh my goodness, it's shot up to the skies. So we're going to connect this point right here, this point right there. And you can very well see that it might actually make an ascending triangle just to plan ahead. Now I want to show you guys how these targets are obtained, okay? So these targets are obtained by, let's go over here. So it's lesson time, guys. It's very easy to play these Elliott waves once you figure them out. So what I like to do is on an X impulse up, right? I don't usually catch the first wave. Actually, I never catch the first wave because I like to see, first of all, I like to get confirmation to see how much this retraces. If I see it leveling off and I see signs on the indicators that's leveling off, this is a great buy zone, right? 618 Fibonacci level. Now we follow the same rules of wave 4 should not retrace to wave 1 territory by more than a wick in leveraged markets. Then we assume that, hey, wave 4 will resist or will be supported by wave 1 right there. So it's very logical for us to assume that this could easily happen in here as well, right? Super logical. Now let's say that we actually get an A, right? Like for example, A, maybe a B, something like that, and a C, just like this. Well, if B actually was a close point to 1 as well, then hey, we got a really strong support zone right there as well. Now what we do is we try to buy right around that level within a reasonable Fibonacci level. Now something to always remember is that during a correction phase, we usually break through some prominent EMA. So for example, on a 4-hour chart here, we broke below the 55 EMA there just by slightly, right? So don't be too surprised if we actually break slightly below here. Now this trend line may not even hold. Don't get me wrong, like this trend line that I drew in there may not even hold. But what I am doing is I'm assuming that, hey, there's a wave B right there. Hey, there's a wave 1 right there as well. Hey, there's a trend line as well right there. Is this actually going to be a really good place to buy? So I'm very interested right now in keeping an eye between like 4600 and 5100 Satoshi there, right? So I'm going to assume that this impulse wave will not be failed. And you never know, guys, it could very well fail. So you need to make sure that you're watching where this wave 4 territory retraces to. It could very well be down here. If it goes down even lower, like breaks the trend line right there, and even well into B territory and 1 territory by lots of volume and candle, then we might even get a failed impulse wave, and then it just ends up correcting further to get a WXY type correction. So let's talk about assuming that it does bounce off of here though. And I'm going to leave that up to you guys to make sure you also get the confirmation to enter, right? And I'll also be tweeting about it as the time gets near. And I'll also be releasing a lot of videos because I want you guys to be on the same page as me. When I play swing trading positions, they're fairly big compared to my scalping position. So you guys have seen my scalping positions, right? They go up to, I don't know, sometimes I even go up to like $30,000 for scalping. Not often, but it's usually between 10,000 to 15 for scalping, right? But for swing, I plan to enter into like 50K to $80,000 swing positions. So I'm gonna go big and I'm gonna go home, or I'm gonna go home. So I think that there's a lot of profit to be made even for this 5th wave. So the way we target our 5th wave, let's talk about 3rd wave first of all, is we take our Fibonacci where wave 1 began, and then we do this simply, okay? We target 1-to-1 extensions slightly higher than it for wave 3. And then we target roughly between the 1618 and probably a previous high. So that looks pretty good in there right now, right? Who knows, this might even be extended, something ridiculous like that, or something very different. But I'm not too concerned about this right now. What I'm very concerned about is how far is this wave 4 going to retrace? Will it retrace right by the B region and the 1 region right here between 46,000 and about, I keep saying 1,000, but I mean 4,600 and 5,100 Satoshi. If it does, it starts to show signs of volume and leveling off there with lots of support, then there would be no reason for me not to enter a trade, right? So I have to make sure I get that type of confirmation first. So if we entered a trade there, we'd be looking at a beautiful risk to reward ratio, I'm sure of it. Let's say we entered around 5,000, okay? Just for hearsay. We set our stop loss slightly below here. It's up to you guys what your stop loss is. I have a lot of pain. I can tolerate a lot of pain, and I have a lot of tolerance in general. So I'd probably be targeting maybe 7% loss here. Not that bad. And I'll target up here around 6,500. It's a pretty round number right there. Maybe even slightly lower than that because I don't know if it's going to break that. So that's still a really nice gain there for 25%, right? I mean, we're talking about going from 5,000 Satoshi to 6,280. That's a pretty good risk to reward there. So we could very well end up trending into some sort of ascending triangle pattern after that, because I do expect this right here to make one entire impulse wave up. So I want to talk to you guys about my extensions first of all and my longer term targets, okay? So my longer term targets, assuming that this is the end of the retracement, is actually still anywhere between like 10 to 12,000 Satoshi, assuming that wave 3 is often the longest and never the shortest. It's very, very reasonable for us to assume anywhere in here even, right? Like let's say 10,000 Satoshi. So let's say that this was actually wave 1 right here. We'll get a better idea of it once this one is actually formed. So let's say that wave 3 ended up going to something like that. Who knows, wave 4 might even go something like that. So this seems to be decent looking as well for a 1618 extension. Who knows, wave 3 might be a little bit lower. Might not even make it. Wave 4 might even correct to possibly where the resistance was before that now acts as a support. But we see this in a lot of coins, guys. It happens so often. And then, you know, if we get a retracement here just for longer term, it could be about 618.5. And then this whole wave 2 thing is it becomes a correction, right? So just as an example, we could even get some subwaves in here, where this makes like wave 1, it bounces there, then subwave 2 retraces somewhere in there, and then 3, 4, and then 5. Just something like this. Does this make sense? I really hope it does make sense. And then wave 4, we might get some retracement here, and then a wave 5 or somewhere possibly up there. But a lot of the times we do like to test things, guys. Like it could even be for a wave 3 up here, and it might be for a subwave 4 right here, maybe an extended 5th wave, who knows. I'm just more so playing around right now, just extrapolating for longer term. But as it stands right now, make sure you guys watch between these key levels, between 46,000 and about 51, 52,000 Satoshi, okay? I think that it's very important that we keep an eye on this specific region right now. We have to work with the relevant data that we see, right? We can draw it like this perhaps, cross over to here. We can draw it perhaps like this as well. It really depends, and we're not going to know which is right and which is wrong. But I want to reassure you guys that don't be scared if you guys see a crossover like this on the 55 EMA, where it goes to the negative side for a little bit and crosses bearishly, okay? If it's done it for wave 2 right here, see this is wave 2 right here. If it's done it for wave 2 right there, it's a good chance it's going to do it for wave 4 as well, right? Who knows, it might even cross to somewhere there, somewhere here, but this green zone is definitely going to pique my interest very soon. And usually I would be catching the third subwave up, but I didn't have any funds on Binance yet. I didn't transfer anything. So this is a play that I absolutely plan to take for a good 20% gain there. And I really hope to make it happen. I'm going to start accumulating as soon as it starts to level off. And we'll see how that goes, guys. So these are my quick thoughts on Stellar right now. I always like to follow up on coins that I've done TA on. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. That whether I trade them or not, this coin in particular I will trade, but whether I trade some coins or not, I would still follow up on it to make sure that you guys are on the same page as I am, and you have decent TA and a difference of opinion and different sources or different resources, so you can have a better opinion and a better strategy. So these are my thoughts for Stellar. So if you guys enjoy these videos, I'd really appreciate an upvote on steemit. And make sure you guys also like, subscribe, and share to this stuff on YouTube and on Twitter as well. I'll be updating this every day or two, guys, because it's coming soon. Like January 31st, I'm guessing, by the end of the month, maybe a few days into the month. But we are just waiting for this correction. So let's see if this is a failed impulse wave or not yet. Make sure you guys are not entering on FOMO, please. Make sure to level it off, okay? Make sure you see it level off before you start to enter whatsoever. So other than that, have yourselves a great night, guys, and I'll keep up with you guys later. See you.